My sophomore year of college, I was having a really hard time recovering from an abusive relationship from high school, and I was really frustrated with myself for not being where I thought I should be in my healing process. See, I always imagined my healing process would be linear. I'd heal a little bit every single day, and then suddenly I wouldn't even be affected anymore. But that is not how it was going. It actually looked a lot more like this. Some days I felt like I was getting worse, and I was still terrified of being alone with men. But when a cute guy from school asked me out on a date, I reluctantly said yes. So the day comes and he picks me up and he drives me to a place called Kelly Park, which is 1 hour away from my house. We get there, we're in the middle of nowhere, it's late, nobody is around, and the park is not even technically open. Fear creeps in, but I was trying to be normal, so I push it away. We begin to drive deeper and deeper into the forest, and he finally explains where we're going. He wants to show me this cool mud hole, but we're gonna need to get out of the car and walk to get there. He walks over to my door and opens it because he's a gentleman. Oh, and also because the door doesn't open from the inside, so I was trapped in this strange student's 97 Jeep Cherokee in the forest. So he goes to grab a jacket for me from his trunk, and he reveals an assortment of tools and axes underneath. Doesn't really explain why they're there, and then just closes the trunk. And it hits me. I am definitely about to be murdered. But then he just begins walking down the path to the mud hole. We stare at it, then he says, well, I guess it's really too dark to see it, and then we turn around and head back to the car. At this point, you're probably wondering why I was going along with this and why I wasn't scared. The thing is, I was scared. I was always scared. And when you're always scared, it's sometimes difficult to interpret whether your fear is valid. The level of panic you imagine you would feel in this scenario, I was feeling it. I was feeling it all the time. But what was I supposed to do? Run off into the woods alone? As you've probably guessed by now, I was not murdered. In fact, up until this point, this was the best date I had ever been on. When you have PTSD or when you've been hurt by anyone or anything really badly, your brain creates a narrative. My brain expected that all vulnerability would lead to punishment, so it triggered panic in any situation with perceived vulnerability. Up until that point, my trauma management style was to never put myself into a vulnerable situation. But this night disrupted that narrative. It weakened those associations that my brain had with trauma. I learned that just because someone could take advantage of me doesn't necessarily mean that they will. But there's no way to completely rewrite this narrative. I think I might always feel a little bit scared when I'm around guys, but that night I was vulnerable and it was okay. And sometimes okay is the best thing that you can ask for.